Okay, this is Orlando Wilson. I'm here with Dionysus in sunny Greece, and I want to ask Dionysus a few questions about drones. Dionysus, since we last talked, how have drones developed? How do you see things developing?
Well, I see more and more companies reaching out for drones and for drone services and for people that will be flying drones to cover surveillance, to cover protection, and to cover fire prevention and early warning. So I see more and more machines getting into the play.
You mentioned surveillance. In Europe, in most of Europe, there's very strict laws on using drones for surveillance or any type of surveillance. But what people forget is the criminals don't particularly follow the laws.
Yeah, criminals will not play by the rules. They will not file a flight plan to fly the drone. They will hack their machinery to make the best they can out of it. And we have already seen in plenty of countries criminals using drones to have a good look at somebody's property, find weak spots, find ways to exploit those weak spots, and then go in and do a burglary, rob, and stuff like that.
I think you were saying that's been happening in some high-end areas here.
Not only in Greece, but also in other countries. In the UK, it has been recorded, but yeah, also in some high-profile islands here in Greece for sure.
So this is the thing: the criminals are not law-abiding to start with, so they'll be using the drones to do their surveillance and planning their jobs. If people are under a drone threat, what can they do?
Well, first of all, they should think why they are under the threat, why they should be under a threat, and is it really a threat or just their imagination? And then they should be aware. If they look, if they listen, and if they take cover, that should eradicate in most of the cases the situation.
I think what we're going to have to do is sort out a flyer for drone awareness, because I think, as you said, and even the stuff we're doing quite a few times, you can actually see the drones. If you can't see them, and then if you're aware of what they're sounding like, you can hear them. So I think it must be look, listen, and stay undercover if you're exposed to a drone threat. And if you see a drone, get undercover.
And again, you must be aware of it, but you must not be terrorized by it, because, okay, drones are relatively new. So many people fall on two extremes: either disregard them at all, not pay attention, or be terrorized as if every drone out there is out for them. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind that it is one more thing to pay attention to, but don't be terrorized. Don't be afraid.
What can people do? And again, I think I'm hearing a lot about drone countermeasures. What can people do for drone countermeasures?
Well, depends. First of all, they must be careful not to create bigger problems than they solve. As I said, not every drone out there is their enemy, and if they want to, they cannot just do anything that will end up in a disaster or in a drone crashing on somebody's head, on somebody other's property, because then they are simply creating more problems than they solve. They cannot be using shotguns, like some people have said, to just shoot around drones.
That's what I recommend.
Well,
where legal.
Yeah, it's not viable in an urban environment.
It's not viable. This is where I think the best defense against the drone these days is going to be a shotgun. But again, how many countries you can't own shotguns? You can't walk around with a shotgun, and you just can't start shooting on your property. You can in parts of the US, but everywhere is not the United States.
You have seen neighborhoods here in Athens. They're packed. You cannot be able to just go out there and
start
drones.
Shooting.
Yeah.
Even in the country, a lot of places, you can only shoot in specific areas, or else the police will be all over you. And I think this is another thing. I've had people approach me about drone countermeasures, etc. A lot of the equipment is very, very expensive, and I take it you need end user certificate, government certification, or government licenses to actually own, let alone use.
You will for sure need some training. It's not your smartphone, it's technical equipment. And for the simple guy who cannot afford all that money or doesn't really have a need for this kind of technological equipment, it's irrelevant.
I think in most places, I think in most of the EU, jammers are illegal, right?
Whatever has to do with jamming frequencies is banned.
Is banned.
It's banned because you might end up causing problem to police passing by or to an ambulance passing by. If their frequencies are jammed, you might end up causing somebody's death. So they are, banned.
So again, we're using drones a lot more in various things that we're doing. If you need any advice on drones, people can reach out to Dionysus here. And also, if you need any advice about residential security, we know people. Well, we can give you the online advice. We can always give you virtual consulting via Zoom or whatever app. But also, we know people in quite a few places that can provide you with serious services and serious consultation services that can up your security. And I think as things develop, especially as far as drones and robots is concerned, they're game changers.
And not only counseling, but also we can direct to people with the proper equipment.
Proper equipment, training, etc. And in the near future, I expect we'll be offering a course on the application for drones for security personnel and also close protection. But that's something
Aren't we already?
Shh, don't tell everybody. So in the future, we will be offering more drone-related services for security personnel, right?
For the serious ones.
For the serious ones. In the meantime, follow us along on social media. I have an array of books online. Follow Dionysus's blogs and reach out to us with any questions. If you're connected with us on social media, please feel free to send us serious questions, but make sure they're serious. Please don't waste their time, and as we tend to have better things to do. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.